In this video, I'm going to show you how to easily create professional websites even if you're a complete beginner. Having a professional website is insanely important because if you've got a bad website, it means lower conversion rates and less revenue. That means you've got to spend more money on ads, more time promoting your website, which means less time actually building your business. So I'm going to show you the 7 steps that I personally use to make any website look and feel professional. To demonstrate this, I'll redesign this website's hero section to make it look 10 times more professional with just a few simple changes. Step 1. Consistent spacing. The first step to a professional looking website is consistent spacing. When elements are well spaced on your website, everything looks structured, well put together, and professional. Defining consistent spacing rules is the fundamental key to beautiful, effective design that's easy for visitors to follow. Just take a look at this homepage from Cap. Each element has consistent spacing so that nothing feels too far apart or too close. Proper spacing is actually so important that it shows up in every design field from album covers to architecture. And luckily, there's a simple 2-step process to get consistent spacing on your website. First, we define a spacing rule. Now, there's a ton of spacing rules you could use for web design, but the simplest and the one we'll be using here is called the 4-pixel rule. That just means that every gap in our spacing will be divisible by 4 pixels. So we have 4, 8, 12, 16, all the way up to 1024 if we want it. Second, we'll apply that rule to the different relations in our design. So closely related elements should be closer together and unrelated elements should be further apart. For example, our header with our navigation and logo is a different section than our hero, so they should probably be spaced further apart. But our headline and subtitle are closely related, so they should probably be spaced closer together. And by the way, I'm using Figma to edit these designs, but these principles will work with any design or development tool that you prefer. Now, we'll repeat this process of spacing elements according to their relationships for every element in our design, following our 4-pixel rule. So this is the before, and this is how our design looks after. Already a huge improvement, and it's all thanks to consistent spacing. Step 2, reading gravity. The second step to a professional looking website is good reading gravity. Reading gravity is a graphic design term that describes how the eye naturally follows a design. For much of the Western world, that's generally from left to right and top to bottom. So we want to present the information on our website in an order that people are likely to read it. Now, the term reading gravity was coined by the father of modern newspaper design, Edmund Arnold, and he said that any design which forces the reader to work against reading gravity tends to destroy reading rhythm. And a research paper by Took et al. Kind of confirms this. They found that websites that followed this formula were considered by visitors to be 20% more beautiful than websites that didn't. So to implement reading gravity, we probably want our header section on the top since visitors scan our website from top to bottom, and we should also probably put our headline and subtitle on the left so our visitors can read those to make sense of our image. If you want an easy way to implement reading gravity on your website, just follow this general layout. Remember that visitors will look top left first and bottom right last. You might also want to avoid putting information in the bottom left as it's the least likely area for visitors to read. And remember, the opposite of this is true if your visitor's native language reads from right to left or bottom to top. Step 3, follow web conventions. The third step to a professional looking website is following web conventions. Following typical web design conventions makes your website more navigable, which means visitors have an easier time finding information and traveling down your sales funnel. For example, almost every e-commerce product page has an image on the left with product details, pricing, and an add to cart button on the right. Because most visitors are already familiar with this general layout, it reduces the amount of time spent looking for information, which lowers friction and leads to more orders being placed. So for our own design, we should probably put the logo on the left side of our header since that's the standard convention. It also makes sense to place our call to action below the headline since that's where visitors expect it to be, and they're more likely to understand our call to action anyway after reading our copy. Now, there's actually a scientific term for this kind of design. It's called prototypicality, which is a measure of how similar your layout is to other designs. The more typical your design, the easier it is to follow. But that doesn't mean that everything about our design should be typical, because then it'll look really generic. We want to find a middle ground where visitors have an easy time finding information, but our design still looks unique. For example, we might place our menu in the middle of our header to balance out the design a little bit. And instead of a single image, why not go with a collage to make it feel a little bit more unique? Now, if you want to learn more about what makes certain layouts and design choices effective, then you should definitely join the Designspo newsletter. It's free, and every week I'll send you design lessons from the best websites on the internet. All you have to do is click the first link in the description below, enter your email, and get signed up. It's by far the best way to support the channel, and I greatly appreciate every subscriber. Step 4. Hierarchy. The fourth step to a professional looking website is good hierarchy. This is the idea that important things should be visually obvious to the visitor. And it's called hierarchy because we literally rank elements from most to least important. The more essential a type of element is, like a headline, the fewer of them we should have and the more prominent they should look. You know, as an analogy for visual hierarchy, we can think about it kind of like a book, right? A book has one title, but it has many chapters, and in each one of those chapters it has even more paragraphs. Because we can only ever have one title, we literally put it on the cover. But it would be impossible to put every chapter or every paragraph on the cover, at least without totally losing a sense of hierarchy. Now, we actually already started the process of assigning hierarchy when we fixed the reading gravity and followed web conventions. But we can take this principle even further. The first thing we'll do is assign a level of importance to each element in the design. Now, a common mistake beginners make here is thinking that everything is equally important. Every single element might be essential to the design, but our job as designers is to convey to the visitor what they should focus on first, second, third, etc. So if we make everything big and bold, then nothing stands out and they'll get confused, which means they'll leave our website. So after we figured out the hierarchy, we should adjust our elements according to that order. Now, there's many different ways to make something stand out using size, color, spacing, motion, white space, and a million other things, but in this example, let's just change the size. We'll make our headline larger since that's generally what visitors look at first. Then we'll make our subtitle a bit smaller since it should support the headline. Finally, we'll adjust the sizing of the images in our collage so we can create a focal point around our main image. Step 5. Great typography. Clean, legible, on-brand type is one of the most important aspects of a great-looking website. That's because around 80% of the time that visitors spend on your website will be spent reading text. So here's 3 rules for choosing the right typography every time. 1. Choose a typeface that's on brand for your website. Contrary to popular belief, there's no such thing as a bad font. Even Comic Sans looks totally fine on the buses in Bologna, which is a real example I found after I looked up Comic Sans in use. But anyway, what makes a typeface good is if it's appropriate to your website. If your product is timeless, go with a serif typeface. If it's modern, try sans serif or grotesque. If it's fancy, try a script typeface. If it's playful, try handwritten. The world is your oyster. You have complete permission to use any font you think looks good, so long as you follow rule number 2. Rule number 2 is that your font has to be legible. You could pick out a wild and crazy font for your website so long as the visitor can actually read it. And this goes beyond just picking a typeface. The size, weight, and line height matter here too. For size, generally you don't want anything smaller than 12 pixels, which would be too small to read for most people. You also don't want paragraphs so bold the letters smash into each other, or headlines spaced so far apart that you can't tell where one word stops and another starts. And for line height, you generally want to set it inversely proportional to your text size. That means the smaller the text, the more space you'll need in between lines. The larger the text, the less space you'll need. But the takeaway is your font has to be easily legible. Finally, rule number 3, your typography has to be consistent. If you set a paragraph to 14 pixels, it has to be 14 pixels everywhere. If your section headings are 32 pixels, they're 32 pixels everywhere. No matter the sizing or spacing rules you decide to use, they have to be consistent so that visitors know where they are on your website. When they see a 32 pixel heading, they know they're on a new section. We build consistent typography systems so that your website is easy to scan and read. So now let's apply these rules to our design. Because we're designing a professional website, let's go with a sans serif typeface. Next, we'll make the typography more legible by increasing the weight of the headline and decreasing the weight of the paragraph. Finally, we'll make sure our typography is consistent. You might have noticed that our call to actions and our menu are still using a different typeface, so we'll go ahead and fix those to keep our entire design looking clean. Step 6. Meaningful imagery. The 6th step to a professional website is meaningful imagery. Meaningful imagery just means that our graphics relate to the product or service we're selling in a real way. So generally speaking, stock images or graphics aren't super meaningful because they don't show the visitor anything unique about our business. Take a look at these 2 examples. Which feels more meaningful to the product? Well, if you pick 2, you'd be correct because these graphics actually show the product in action. In this case, an example I found online, Reviton's Natural Toothpaste. We always want our graphics to feel related to our text in a meaningful and unique way. Sometimes that's a good image, a well-made graphic, or even just a few icons. So for our design, let's replace the generic images in our collage with a few custom ones. Creating custom images and graphics will always be worth the extra effort because they're likely to take up almost half of your website's visual real estate. Step 7. Action colors. The seventh and final step to a professional website is incorporating the right action colors. An action color is the color we designate to certain activities a visitor can take on our website. For example, blue might mean sign up, or black might mean add to cart. Whatever color you decide to use, you want to make sure that the color is consistently assigned to that action. That way visitors have an easy time finding and taking the next step in your sales funnel when they're ready. In our design, we've got 2 call to action buttons in the main hero section and in the header. Now currently the headers button is a different color, so we'll go ahead and set that to blue to match our other button. We'll also implement this rule and every other rule we talked about in this video throughout our whole website. I'm just redesigning one section so that we understand the principles of building professional websites. So here's the design we started with, and here's how our website looks now. Honestly, a pretty big difference with just a few small changes. Now, having a professional design for your website is super important, but there's still a lot of technical things about the web design process that could potentially trip you up. So if you want my exact process for designing and developing websites from start to finish, you can check out this video here. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.